Well, Barack,
Yeah.
he had to adjust to what on time was for
Because
me.
he was on that island time.
Well,
that
but
brother.
I've got this husband who's like, when it's time to leave, it's 3:00. He's getting up and going to the bathroom. And I was like, dude, like 3:00 departure means you've done all that. It's like, don't start looking for your glasses, at the 3:00 departure. But he's improved
Yeah.
over 30 years
Yeah.
of marriage.
Well, in case you have not heard, the podcast arena has just received another participant, but this one is a big name participant that you probably did not see coming in a million years. And that is the former First Lady, Michelle Obama, decided to throw her hat into the podcast ring, just like Gavin Newsom did recently. And here's the reason behind it all. With Trump's victory, the left has decided that the reason why Trump won is because of podcasts. Kamala Harris, if she'd have just went on Joe Rogan, she would have won. And they literally have these Democrat echo chambers where they talk about how, if they had their own Joe Rogan and how, guys like Tim Pool and some of these other folks are right-wing extremists, and they have this system of being able to use propaganda to flip people Republican, which is the craziest thing in the world. As a matter of fact, the conservative movement has faced tremendous pushback. Remember, before it was X, it was Twitter. And it's already been exposed that Twitter was literally censoring the accounts of conservative or right-wing posts and pages and whatnot. And it wasn't just on X. It was on Google. We found out that Kamala Harris's campaign was having certain posts that were actually sponsored ads that looked like just organic articles and things like that. There was so much shade that had come across Facebook. We now know that Meta was censoring people's pages and posts working with the government. We also know that YouTube is known for doing their thing behind the scenes. So the fact of the matter is we had a whole lot of censorship going on for one side, while the other side was able to just say and do whatever it is that they wanted. Well, let's fast forward it. Now the public has woken up, okay? And we're able to speak and say what we feel without being pressured or feeling like we're going to get kicked off of a platform just by expressing ourselves. But the left believes that, hey, listen, if we just throw stuff out there, it'll work. And it hasn't. Did you see the cringe video that 22 senators put out, all sharing the exact same thing? They literally said the exact same words and the exact same edits throughout the entire video. Then recently, 50 of them just released an X post saying the same exact thing. So Michelle Obama decided that she was going to get out there and do her a podcast and just watch the people roll in and just fawn and fan all over her, except for it did not happen that way. It actually backfired. Let's check out this article from Mediaite. It says, MAGA celebrates Michelle Obama's podcast debuting to abysmal numbers. Were you one of the 25,000 that listen? Now, this woman's podcast has been promoted all over the internet prior to it launching. She's got her brother on there. She's the former First Lady. Every single left-wing media outlet like The View and some of these other online outlets have been pumping it, promoting it. And all Michelle Obama got for her podcast, her inaugural podcast, was 25,000 views. And folks, let me let you know something. I draw more views on my podcast than the former First Lady. And we're going to take a look at that. I'm going to show you some clips of the podcast because it is cringe. And I'm also going to show you the feedback that she's been getting because, man, she has been getting hit hard all across the internet. But I'll check out a little bit more of this article. It says right-wing influencers on X celebrated this week as former First Lady Michelle Obama's new podcast debuted to disappointing numbers on YouTube. Mrs. Obama and her brother Craig Robinson announced the launch of a video podcast Monday, promising weekly episodes and dropped 2 episodes to kickstart the new venture. IMO, short for In My Opinion podcast, uploaded 2 episodes Wednesday morning that attracted 47,000 and 15,000 views, with a total viewership in 24 hours reaching just 62,000 views. Now, this is the former First Lady. She's an Obama, and she can only draw in 62,000 views within 24 hours from 2 podcast episodes. You know what that shows you? The support is manufactured. There's not so much support for the Obamas as they like us to believe there is. Now, at one point, let's not get it twisted. The Obamas were like the messiahs to the left, even though as crazy as it is, with as much propaganda and divisiveness that came in through Obama's term in office, you know, the left still fawned all over him, but they misstepped. The Obamas came out supporting the left-wing radical extreme views of Biden. The Obama's campaign manager jumped in and tried to push the Kamala Harris scam on us. Obama decided to come out and chastise grown black men who were wise enough to do their homework and not blindly support Kamala Harris or blindly support any Democrat candidate that they put up. So their star power has waned. And this debut of this episode shows exactly that. So let's take a look at what some of the other online resources are saying about the episode and how they felt about it.
Primetime's been wondering where Michelle Obama's been. She snubbed both Jimmy Carter's funeral and Trump's inauguration. And last week, Barack went to a basketball game all by himself. Turns out Michelle's been busy working on a new podcast, and so far, it's been a flop. The first 2 episodes have been up all day and only gotten a few thousand views on YouTube. Half of them are probably primetime producers. But still, Michelle's spilling the family secrets, like how Barry gets on her nerves. Listen.
Barack, you know, he had to adjust to what on time was for
Because he was on that island time.
Well, but you know, I've got this husband who's like, when it's time to leave, it's 3 o'clock. He's getting up and going to the bathroom. And I was like, dude, like 3 o'clock departure means you've done all that. You know, it's like, don't start looking for your glasses, you know, at the 3 o'clock departure. But he's improved over 30 years of marriage. But that was you must adjust.
If you're enjoying the content, do me a solid. Hit that like button, because I will never ask you for a cash app. I will never ask you for a super chat. But you hitting that like button, it really helps the channel. It's currency. It helps spread the video around. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, you should subscribe. On the Real Politics Podcast, that's what we do. We talk real politics. So once you subscribe, hit that notification bell and then select all. That way, you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Now, you have to ask yourself, what's really going on in Obama land? Because we've heard about the rumors of Obama allegedly being involved with Jennifer Aniston, and we saw the media try to quell that down and kind of quash that. We've seen Michelle Obama has not been with Barack attending any of the events, not the inauguration, not Jimmy Carter's funeral. Barack was recently at the basketball game, at a Clippers game. There was no Michelle. And even on the podcast, she takes jabs at him. And you have to wonder, are the divorce rumors real? Are they true? And if that be the case, what will that do to the Democratic Party's quote unquote front of this perfect dynamic couple, which we know was BS? Matter of fact, Michelle didn't even want Barack to run for president. She didn't want all of the invasive attention that comes along with that. And as she clears they states on this upcoming part, Barack Obama was somewhat ambitious and really put his goals at the forefront of the family. And, you know, whether she agreed with it or not, she went on the ride. And so now, is Michelle Obama positioning herself for a 2028 run? Because we know that that's what Gavin Newsom is doing. Now, if you hadn't known or paid attention, Gavin Newsom also decided that he was going to throw his hat into the podcast ring. And I'm going to show you some clips of him just getting completely destroyed on his own podcast. And it's got the left-wing media going insane. You see, the left does not believe that you should even communicate or have conversation with people that you disagree with. The left's motto is, oh, you don't agree? You know what? You're done, cutting you off. And you don't get anywhere with that. It's kind of like with Vladimir Putin. The left wants to disrespect him every day, all day, call him every single name in the book, and then wonder why, when he sees their weakness, he pounces on it, and then doesn't listen to anything that they say and cares less about giving them any concessions. He doesn't respect them. Why? Because they show him no respect. Now, granted, he's a dictator and all of that stuff that we always fed. But at the same time, if you want to maintain peace, you have to be willing to open up dialogue. And if the left is all about canceling anybody that doesn't agree, they jumping on the wrong side of every single issue. It doesn't matter if it's a podcast, a TV show, a reality show, nothing can save this sinking ship. But what is Michelle Obama's intent? As a matter of fact, let's take a look at her channel, at her podcast, and see how she did. Okay, now it's been 3 days. Her views have gone up to 211,000. Part of that, though, has become because of the media, the negative media attention, where people literally are coming to the page because they want to see the comments. But let's just take a look at the comment section. That's what most people are coming here for. In the comment section, remember when this guy drowned his chef in a lover's quarrel? Let me make it larger so you can see. It said, click on video, immediately hit pause, go to comment section. I worked my balls off to get here. Only Michelle Obama has the balls to leave this comment section open. As you can see, she is getting destroyed. Someone here has got some serious balls. By that, I mean whoever hasn't disabled the comments yet. Video score 48%, comment score 95%. Wow. If only Joan Rivers could be here to read all of the comments. And you know why they say Joan Rivers? Because remember, Joan Rivers, right before her passing, she came out and publicly called Michelle Obama a man and said that everybody in Hollywood already knew it. And she didn't say it joking around.
Michelle says her husband doesn't really like people, doesn't know how to talk to him, and doesn't even really care.
When a girlfriend comes to visit, it's usually like, you got to stay for 2 days because it's going to take us
so much
2
time
days
to
check up. Now, Barack's come in, he's come out, and he's like, y'all still talking? He'll sit down for 5 minutes, be like, how are the boys? And the flip side of my husband, right? Because he golfs, and golfing takes as long as the first session of our, it takes 5 hours to golf. He'll golf with his buddies, come back and be like, how's X? He's good. He's like, what'd y'all talk about? Nothing.
Hate to break it to Michelle, but guys don't get deep on the course. Normally, when someone rags on their spouse, there's usually a little love. Like, Jimmy, he never listens, but he looks cute in his suit. But that wasn't cute. Did she drop this podcast to distance herself from Barack so she could run for president? Every politician starts a podcast right before they launch their next campaign. Looking at you, Gavin. And it turns out Michelle wasn't the only one who had problems with Barack when he was in office. Michelle says the kids were embarrassed too.
Every year we'd have the turkey pardoning. And that was the one thing that the girls would do at Barack, was to go stand next to him when he pardoned this turkey.
Yes.
And it was cute when they were little, but as they got older, you could see on their faces in the shots of them thinking, I would just poke my eyes out. Just right now, just get me out of here. I'm standing with my father telling these stupid jokes, next to a turkey. So by the time we got to the last year, the last turkey pardoning, they were done. They were just like, I'm out. I'm not going.
Michelle also revealing that she didn't want her husband running for president. That makes two of us.
Being married to the president of the United States thing.
Yeah.
that none of us kind of banked on. I mean, we knew Barack was smart and, ambitious, but, I think, but you talked me into supporting his run.
I did.
Because I was definitely like, nope, no way. This is crazy. We've done enough crazy stuff.
That's right. That's right. Barack came to me and he's like, I can't convince your sister to go along with us. And I'm like, whoa, go along with what? And it's like, I think I'm going to run for president. And I was like, what? I convinced you to not penalize him for being really good at what he does.
As you saw, this is a complete cringe fest of a show. Now, on the flip side of that, we've got California Governor Gavin Newsom. His podcast opened up to much, much better numbers, but the results were just as terrible. He gets obliterated by and embarrassed by Charlie Kirk. And as a matter of fact, on this episode, Charlie Kirk puts him in a position where Gavin Newsom, who's doing his slick snake oil salesman thing and trying to act like he's more of a moderate, when in reality, he is a far left wing extremist who has ran California in the ground on those far left ideology and far left extreme policies. We saw what he did to San Francisco when he was mayor. Then he failed his way forward to becoming governor. And I really believe California was a test ground to see what would happen if you really went all in on fascist type policies, complete type socialist ideology. The state runs and controls everything, heavy regulations, strip people of the ability to provide for themselves, create the largest homeless encampment space, and normalize it. It's normalized in California. People don't even freak out or feel bad about the homeless population anymore. It's just a thing. There's even a city. There's even a city there named for the homeless population. That is nuts to have a homeless city, a homeless mini city in America, the richest country in the world, where we throw away and waste more food than some nations have to feed their people. But check this clip out of Charlie Kirk taking Gavin Newsom to school. Now, pay attention to how MAGA, that's supposed to be all, tobacco spitting racist people who are ignorant, right? And the Democrats are supposed to be the party of elitists. Gavin Newsom shows up in jeans and a shirt that's unbuttoned halfway down his chest. Charlie Kirk shows up in a very nice overcoat business suit, looking very, very slick, very debonair. And he handled himself like a businessman. And so, you know, if you really looked at this clip, you would think MAGA party are the one of intellectuals, which we are. But yet we connect and are the working man, business builders, community developers and builders. That's what MAGA is about, making America great. But check out this clip from Gavin Newsom, how he gets pushed into a position, makes a statement, has been getting destroyed by the left since then.
Like, would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that.
So like you right now should come out and be like, you know what? The young man who's about to win the state championship in the long jump in female sports,
right,
that shouldn't happen.
Completely fair on the issue of fairness. I completely agree. So that's easy to call out, the unfairness of that. There's also a humility and a grace, you know, that these poor people are more likely to commit suicide, have anxiety and depression. And the way that people talk down to vulnerable communities is an issue that I have a hard time with.
So as you saw, he got Gavin Newsom to admit, hey, listen, there's a disadvantage. The left has gone insane on Gavin Newsom since that time. So it seems like the left is doing everything they can do to try to relate to the people and using social media. And in their mind, it doesn't matter what type of social media you put out there, as long as you're getting eyeballs on it. And obviously you could tell, just like everything else, they have got the wrong strategy. It does matter what you put out there. And just because you're getting eyeballs on it, are they looking, laughing, and agreeing with you, or laughing at you? There's a big difference. You can get a whole lot of views and attention for some BS that's not going to make your party or the individual look in the most positive light. And that's what's happening with the Democrats, especially with President Trump playing 5D chess and putting them in a position where they were going to shut the government down or allow the spending bill to go through September. The same way they were saying, oh, the tariffs is going to destroy the country. Every single person he's put those tariffs on has been willing to negotiate. We've already seen the jobs numbers. Jobs are up. We've already seen that overall inflation down, core inflation down, price of eggs and gas down, interest rates dropping. So we see everything in movement, and it's only the first 56, 57 days. So no matter what Michelle Obama does, no matter what Gavin Newsom does, the Democrat Party is cooked until they can get their head out of there, you know what, and realign themselves with the American people. But I just wanted to jump in and share that with you. If you've been watching it with me this far, I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And remember to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you aren't subscribed. I'm Brian Maxwell, so I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.